Welcome to Giada, Font of Hope. As far as our opening hand goes, we have our mana base. We've got 4 lands, and we've got Devouring Light and Linvala. Yeah, I guess we keep on this one. Yeah, we could try to ship this back, but I know what'll happen is we'll get, I know we'll end up with like 1 plains and like the 1 colorless lane that we have in here that'll really make it not work. But anyway, we're going to keep on this one. So, and also, we've got Giada versus Giada. Let's have some fun today. Let's see what's happening with this. Opponent's going to go for Weathered Wayfarer, and we'll cover our commanders in just a second. So let's go and get the land down for the turn. Hopefully, we can get that Luminarch Ascension going, and that might make a pretty big difference in this. So it's going to lead off with plains, and then anything else, we're going to pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Giada, Font of Hope, Flying and Vigilance. Each other angel you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1 counter for each angel you already control. Then add white mana, spend this mana only to cast angel spells. And we'll cover our opponent's commander in just a second. Let's lead off with plains, and let's go and get Giada down too. And then anything else. Pass it to our opponent. Our opponent's waiting for that Weathered Wayfarer crack. This Weathered Wayfarer may just end up just being a 1/1 on this bad boy. We're playing against Giada, Font of Hope, Flying and Vigilance. Each other angel you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1 counter on it for each angel you already control. Then add white mana to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast an angel spell. If you didn't believe me, if you didn't think that it was Giada versus Giada, I had to read it. But yes, we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. Go to bit.ly/JoltMTG. That will apply my affiliate link. That'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you do use that link, much obliged. I certainly appreciate it. And also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders, inkgaming.com/Jolt for 10% off your order. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home with the Angels, it is officially free time. So let's have some fun. All right. So let's go and drop in plains. So we do have Devouring Light. And I think what we'll end up doing is just holding on to Devouring Light. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan, because we want to get rid of that Resplendent Angel. So anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. But yes, as far as this build of Giada, if you came here looking for Giada, this is a great video for you. It's Giada versus Giada, and you like angels. But this is pretty standard Giada. That one of the things about Giada is that, you know, it is a, you know, there's not really a wrong way to build it, but there is a right way to build it, and you just need a bunch of angels in there. So if you're thinking about building it, I do recommend two things to keep in mind. You do want to have board wipe protection. You want to have something, you know, Teferi's protection, giving your creatures indestructible, whatever that may be. And then, oh goodness, look at this. So, all right, so we're probably going to get Farewell going pretty soon. That's going to be name of the game. But I still think we might need to end up going for Devouring Light to kind of slow this roll just a little bit, because that's a lot of power out there. So, all right, opponent's going to be swinging in. Now, let's go Devouring Light, exile target attacking creature. And so that's going to get exile. That's going to buy us a little bit of extra time. We've got the mana for Farewell. And so I think we'll just try to end up getting to that. I think that's what the kind of game plan is. So let's go and drop in plains. And we've got, yeah, we can finally get down Luminarch. That's going to be 1/2. Yeah, I think that's the best bet for us, is our opponent is extended out very heavily into the board state. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to hold off. And once we get down Linvala, it's not going to shut our opponents down that hard. But with Linvala, that'll at least cut them off of Giada mana, and at the same time stuff like Weathered Wayfarer. And I think that'll work out. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. We got the land drop 5. That'll be 6. They do have an incentive to swing in with that Luminarch Ascension out there. So with them having at least 10 power, you know, maybe that'll jump to about 12 if they get another angel down. I think we can slow roll to Farewell. And so we're going to try our best to go. We do have Fateful Absence if we need to kind of pop a creature real quick. We might pop that Sarah Avenger. We'll see what's happening, but we can make it work. But yeah, as far as the actual build of the deck, you know, it's just straight up angels. I think we're running about 26 angels in here. I will say this, the Youthful's very nice because you get a bunch of +1 counters on it. The angel that, in my research in building this deck, kind of scouting out cards, the best angel that I love is Herald of War. And in fact, I'm going to go and get that pulled up on Scryfall so we can talk about it. cards. We have Herald of War. And so with Herald of War, whenever it attacks, put +1 counter on it. Then angel spells and human spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each +1 counter of Herald of War. There's not a ton of humans you're probably running in there because you want to have a very high angel count in a deck like this. But you can see with stuff like Weathered Wayfarer. Now, it does cost 1, so you're not going to get that reduced cost in there. But there are some humans that you might run in there at the 2-drop, the 3-drop, maybe the 4-drop if you're trying to get some silly stuff going. Do we want to dodge a 6 with Fateful Absence? That'll be 5. They didn't... We'll see. I think we can take the 10. Alright, so we're going to let the 10 come across. So that's going to drop us down to 30. And at the very least, if we're going to lose Giada the following turn, we can always end up, you know, chump blocking on one creature. Alright, opponent's going to go for Ghostly Prison. And so what I think we might end up doing is just setting up that Farewell. Yeah, I like that. So there's no other angels coming down. So let's go and drop in Plains. And then we're going to go for that Farewell for next turn and hope they don't have oh man, what is it? Mana Tide, then they stop that. So we're not going to push into that crew, and then we'll pass the turn and go from there. But yes, Herald of War, that is going to be one of the high-impact angels you can get in there. The other thing I want to mention, I think I mentioned already, is Unbreakable Formation, Teferi's Protection. You want to make sure you have ways to protect your board state. It's not going to protect against, you know, Teferi's Protection will protect against Farewell. But, you know, there's a lot of board wipes, Damnation, Wrath of God out there, and so having some sort of way to respond to a board wipe and protect your board, just because, especially if you've never built a mono white deck, it is hard to rebound sometimes, unless you have some like good stack pieces out there, like Smothering Tithe or different things like that. It's pretty rough sometimes. All right, so we're gonna block on, I think, Sarah Avenger, because we're just gonna lose Giada next turn. So we'll just take 4. That'll drop us down to 26. And then don't really want to fight around Ghostly Prison. So we do lose out against Luminarch if we exile, if we end up exiling everything. But I think that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to exile artifacts, exile enchantments, graveyards, and creatures next turn. So that'll be a good way for us to kind of dodge that. But yeah, you can have some sort of board wipe protection just because it is hard for mono white to bounce back. You know, if you're in blue, let's say you're playing Rafine and you get hit with a board wipe. You've got blue for card advantage, black for card advantage. Mono white, you have to pay the iron price for mono white sometimes. So that is the name of the game. All right, so let's see if our opponent has a response to this. So let's go and drop in Angel. Let's go for Farewell. Let's say bye-bye to our opponent's board state. So that's going to be artifacts, exile all creatures, and enchantments, and we don't need to exile the graveyard. So there we go. So we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see if this sticks. If they've got Teferi's Protection or something like that, they've got it. But if not, we're going to say bye-bye and say farewell to them, and that should clear it out. So they've got 3 cards in the hand, and we'll see if they have... There we go. All right, that's going to be clear. All right, so we'll be able to get down Giada next turn, and then get down Angelic, Curator, and then we still have Fateful Absence to kind of clean up on anything. One of the good things is that Giada is going to cost 4, so if they end up going for Giada, that's going to allow us to... Yeah, that's going to be their entire turn. So, and the other thing is, if you're building this, Sanctuary is just an all-star in a deck like this, which is... It's nice to find little all-stars in Commander decks. So, alright, so we run into Palace Jailers. Let's go and drop in Plains. Let's go for Giada, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've got an Angel to follow up with Curator. There we go. So we get down Curator. That's going to be a 2-2, and then we have 2 2-2s, and then anything else past the turn. So we're in a pretty good spot. Next turn, we're going to be able to drop in Linvala, because we do have 6. We've got 7, so we can drop in Linvala. We actually got 8 with Giada, so we can actually go for Linvala and Palace Jailer if we want to try to establish the Monarch ability. If we end up getting down Linvala, that's going to be a little bit better for us, because Linvala in a 3 and 4 in a world of 3 and 2s, we should be able to, if we're making our angel drops, hopefully, turn after turn, we're going to be able to bounce back from this. But I'm digging this mono white matchup, this slugfest. So, okay, so let's see what we draw into for the turn. If we can keep the angels going, that's going to be very good. Ooh, Feast and Famine. Okay, so we can't push in past those creatures if we wanted to. I still think we end up just going Linvala. So let's go. Let's tap down Giada. Let's go for Linvala. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. And then we can go for Sword and Feast and Famine, but that keeps us off of Fateful Absence. But I still think we end up getting... I think we get Feast and Famine down. That's going to be 1, 2. because that's going to be a deciding factor in this, and that allows us to get extra mana going. So anything else is going past the turn to our opponent. We could swing in for a 2/2 to trade with Inspiring, or trade with the Giada if we wanted to. Kind of force the issue on that, because we'll make trades on either one. Or we could get into a spot to where we Sword of Feast and Famine. Well, no, it has protection from artifacts, so we can't do that anyway. So let's just... yeah, let's go and push in. Why not? Let's get some damage going. They've got that Angel land out there, so we need to kind of push past that. So if they want to make trades on these, we certainly can. With the Linvala on the battlefield, it does shut off their Giada from getting that that mana going. So at least we're kind of making them make sure that they get the land drops. Now, if we do get into a spot where we get Sword of Feast and Famine onto one of our creatures, once we go for Palace Jailer, we can exile one of their bigger threats, especially if they're getting an Angel out right now. And that'll allow us to... let's see what this is. And we're in a good spot, because we got 2 pieces of removal, and we can just kind of keep connecting with Linvala if we need to. Alright, it's going to be Austere Command. Destroy all artifacts, draw creatures with power mana 4 or greater. Okay, so that's going to take care of Linvala, and that gets rid of our piece of equipment. Okay. This is an even little match. We're getting the 6 mana mass removal spells. Alright, so they're going to be swinging in for 5. That's going to drop us down to 21. And then we'll see what we can do. We do need to, if we get the, I think we'll probably end up getting Palace Jailer down just because we need to get some card advantage going. All right, so we run into Chromatic Lantern. So we've got 7 minus 3, and that puts us at 4. That puts us at 5. Yeah, we still want to end up going, we can't go Chromatic Lantern. So let's drop in Palace Jailer. Enters the battlefield, exile target creature. And so let's go ahead and we're going to become the Monarch. And let's actually exile Inspiring. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to exile that. We're going to become the Monarch. And then we still have Fateful Absence to destroy a creature. And they still get the investigation if they need to. So, alright, so we have the Monarch token. And let's go ahead and push in with Angelic. Because if they want to trade with Giada, they certainly can. And then we can destroy whatever flying creature. And I guess... yeah, because I don't really want to trade Giada for Giada, because I don't want Giada to end up being like a 6-mana threat to get down, because it's actually better off if we just have it not being traded. So anything else, we're going to go on past the turn. So let's get the Monarch card draw going. And we're looking for Angels right now. The quicker we can get Angels onto the battlefield, the better. So let's get the draw trigger, and we're still going to be able to protect Monarch. That is something that we do want to. All right, so we run into a plane, so that is always nice to see. And then we pass the turn to our opponent. But yes, the other way that you can definitely get some card advantage going in Giada is with the Monarch ability. So we've got Palace Jailer in here, and we have Court of Grace. This is one of the ways that, even though you may not be able to maintain Monarch for the entire game, it just gives you extra card advantage. And that's in mono white, where it's hard to get that going without it being situational. There are some Angel of Jubilation. Alright, other non-black creatures you control get +1/+1, and we can't sacrifice. Yeah, that's fine. And so what we'll probably end up doing is we'll see if they end up swinging in with Giada, because it is a 3/3. We might make that trade with Giada. I think I kind of like that. They get +1/+1. So let's go ahead and let's go Fateful Absence on Angel. That's going to be 1/2. And I think I'm okay with making this trade. All right, so we're going to go for Fateful Absence on that. That's going to give them a clue token, which they can get some card draw. And let's go to block. Let's go Giada on Giada. So they're going to square up and fight. Fight in the streets. All right, we're going to return Giada back to the command zone. And the reason I like this is because it's going to be them taking off an entire turn next turn to get down Giada. Now, that's the same thing for us, but at least we get to cash in an extra card draw. So... we'll see what they cast. That might be a clue token. All right, so they're going to cash in a clue token. And then next turn, we're going to end up going for Giada. There we go. All right, ooh, Path to Exile. Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see. All right, so let's get down Giada. So that's going to be 6 total mana. That'll be 5 with Chromatic Lantern. And that'll be us cutting off Path, which, I mean, they're not really going to have a hasty option out there. So let's go Chromatic Lantern. 1, 2, 3. And then we end up going for Giada. So we get Giada onto the battlefield. Let's go and push in for 4. There we go. Knock them down to 37. And then hopefully we run into one of our big Angel threats. I will say this. Even if they run into an Angel, so with us hitting Path to Exile, that is a very wonderful feeling. All right. So we've got the Monarch trigger. That's going to be an extra card draw for us. off of Palace. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so we can go for the foretell off of Unleash. So we foretell this for 2. And then we go for, let's see, we got to even it up. So that'll be a lot of angel tokens that we can get down. And that's probably, oh, Wrath of God. Okay, so that's going to be a great way for us to bounce back from this. Okay. I'll return Giada back to the command zone. So we can foretell, because we're sitting at 8. If we hit the land drop, I think we can actually foretell and get Giada down again. We'll see. But this is, all right, I'm digging where this is going. Let's see what we draw into. All right, Generous Gift. Okay. So we still need to, I feel like we can get better with the foretell. So let's go for the foretell. Yeah, because that's just going to be better for us. Yeah, we need to do that. All right, that's going to be foretell for 1. And then we've got Generous Gift, and we cannot cast Giada because Giada's looking real rough. Giada's sitting at 8 mana to get her down. So anything else, we will pass the turn. So we do have some answers. We've got Generous Gift. And so with Generous Gift, we can, if we wanted to Generous Gift on Authority, that's going to be the tap ability and they gain 1 life, which we do want to watch out for. But if we're going for the Foretell, that's going to be 1 mana, and then so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're actually at 8 mana right now, so that's going to be 4 angel tokens on the battlefield. If we want to try to set it up with Giada to get those extra counters, we can. But I think at this point, all right, so that's Giada. So they don't really have anything else to showcase for it. They're just going Giada. Do we want to try to jam up Giada right now and get that commander tax going so rough that they just don't really have anything else to do with that? And then still leave up Path, because I don't think we're really that worried about a 3/3. Yeah, I think we do that, because I'd like for them, because we want to try to keep the angels pretty baseline. Yeah, let's do that. I'm not super worried about an angel token. I mean a 3/3 elephant token. So they're going to get an elephant token that's going to send Giada back to the command zone. And then let's see what we draw into. Draw into Wrath of God. Okay, so we definitely do have a way to kind of hit the reset button. So let's drop in Plains. I think at this point we have the option to go for Giada. But I think we just go for, yeah, I think we just do this. So that's going to be Chromatic Lantern. Okay, so we're going to click OK on this one. We're going to get 4/4/4 angels onto the battlefield. If they've got Wrath of God, so be it. We still got Path to kind of stop this, and we still have the Monarch token. All right, so it's going to get... always yield to these, and actually I just realized that will give them the Monarch token if we, so we're actually going to have to Path to Exile on that Angel token. So a little bit of a misplay. I forgot about Authority having our creatures enter the battlefield tapped, so a little bit of a misplay on my part, but we definitely want to maintain the Monarch ability on the battlefield. That's very important to us. So we'll see what they end up going for the turn. If they decide to swing in, we'll end up going for Path to Exile and try to go for that. Now, we did draw the Sword of the Animist. That's going to give us a little bit of a bonus, so at least we can put that on 1 creature, get an extra land on the battlefield, and try to get some card advantage. So we'll see what this is going to be. Okay, and our opponent's got their very own Sword of the Animist. This is just, it's just mirroring. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for Path in response to that. They get to grab a land out of the battlefield, so it's like they do get 1 Sword of the Animist, but the main thing is that we do get to protect our Monarch token, which is very important to us. So we got 4, 8, 12, 16. We're going to stop that. They did spend extra mana to try to equip it on there, so now they're down to 3. So we'll see what else they've got, but that's really not going to be board wipe territory. And let's see what we rip into. At the very least, we've got Giada. We are sitting at 10, so that'll be 8, and that'll still give us enough mana to go for Sword of the Animist, but if we're trying to get in commander damage, I think we might end up holding on to Giada as a rebuild source and just try to go for this right now. So let's go for Sword of the Animist. It's going to be 1, 2. You can see what we're trying to do in different decks like this. Go and equip it onto one of our creatures. And they've got Vigilance too, so we're actually in a pretty good spot. So let's go and push in. It's going to be a 5/5, swinging with the entire crew. We're going to grab a basic land. Yes, we'll definitely use that ability. Grab ourselves a Plains, get that onto the battlefield. Swinging in, it's going to knock them down to 25. And then we've got Angelic Page. I think what we're going to do on this one is we're going to try to close it out with the tokens. We have Giada, and if we can build up our angels and rebuild after these tokens, that's what we're going to try to do. You know, just rolling out an Angelic Page right now into nothing. Ooh. So that is Bishop of Wings. And so we might end up getting that down next turn. Because one of the good things about Bishop of Wings is this is board wipe protection. So we do have the added effect of life gain with Bishop of Wings. So whenever an angel enters the battlefield, we gain 4 life. But then whenever an angel we control dies, we get a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. So this actually, it doesn't give us a one-sided board wipe, but if we want to invest Giada into the board state and get down Angelic Page, it makes it a little bit easier for us to go for something like Wrath of God, destroy the board, and still end up with spirit tokens. Because if we end up connecting next turn, that's going to be 4, 8, 12, that's going to be 17. And that'll be life total down pretty low. So we're going to be able to go for Bishop of Wings. So we go Giada for 8 because we've got 10 total mana. I think we've got 11 now potentially. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, opponent's going to scoop it up on that one. So they don't have a board wipe. We're going to be able to grind it out. Good game to our opponent on this one. It is always... it's always fun to get that going. So they've got Coat of... I didn't even think about Coat of Arms in here. Yeah, if they get down Coat of Arms, that just helps us out. They've got Lyra Dawnbringer, Heliod's Intervention, and Aura of Silence. But yes, you can see, you know, this was Monarch. This is Mono White versus Mono White. But the Monarch token, especially when you're playing a Mono White deck, it makes a huge difference being able to cash an extra card draw. So good game to our opponent. Let's see if we can reveal the hand. And we revealed it to them because they wanted to see what's in there. But yes, good game to our opponent. It's always fun to, when you build a new commander, to get the same commander versus same commander. It's like the Spider-Man meme. And to get the win on that one, I will certainly take it. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.